Welcome to my kitchen. Everything is totally normal. I'm not doing any weird chronomancy today. At my last job, I actually had a rule. It was official policy. Chronomancy is not allowed. I hired so many gamers that most of the staff knew what that was. Amygdalopita. Named after the amygdala in the brain. Sorry, the amygdala in the brain is almond shaped, which is where it gets its name. My brain is not working today. It's not braining very well at all. The cake today is an almond flour cake. It's flourless, but it uses a whole bunch of breadcrumbs. Anyways, it's basically an almond flour cake drenched in beautiful honey syrup. The cake itself can be hot when you pour the syrup on top, but the syrup should be no more than warm. So that's why we're going to start with the syrup. Recipe will be in the description on the YouTube videos and shared on the blog shortly after the stream today. We are season 5, episode 19. Okay, we have 380 mils of water, also known as 1.5 cups, exactly 1.5 cups. We need 420 grams of light brown sugar. I'm going to write down all the conversions to imperial units, the freedom units, if you will. 1.5 cups. 420 Lamau grams of sugar. Two cups. Spoke! So there's 2/3, there's 4/3, here is 6/3, and that should be exactly 420. That should be exactly 420. 0.1? I am so imprecise. Crack me up sometimes. Oh, come on. I thought that was funny. So all the ingredients just go into my medium saucepan here. Oh, there's a pinch of something there. Medium heat, bring it to a simmer. That's the only thing I have to measure, actually. So it's light brown sugar, which means half as much molasses as regular brown sugar. And we all remember our conversion of white sugar to brown sugar. It's 1 tablespoon per cup. For light brown sugar, it's half as much. But since I have 2 cups, and I'm using half as much, 2 halves of 1 is 1. No, really, you don't need a math degree to work in the kitchen. I'm just going to get all of my ingredients into my little medium saucepan over here. Well, the real answer, I'll give the whole story. I bought this at a head shop, and for those of you who don't know what a head shop is, watch more 70s movies. I had the choice of buying this or the Snoop Dogg branded digital scale for entertainment purposes only. The reason I bought the scale, I still think to this day that might have been a mistake, not getting the Snoop Dogg. Yes, Hamilton Gaga, welcome. Come on in. Yes, it's almond cake. but Greek, so it's even better. I probably should have bought the Snoop Dogg scale, but it was something like 3 times the price. The reason I needed the digital scale was to calibrate coffee grinders, because I've been involved in big coffee since the early 90s. I think Best Coffee was incorporated in 90, I want to say 93, it might have been 92. But to calibrate coffee grinders, I need a fairly precise scale, so that's why I have this. And at my last job, I would occasionally do some food service work, drink machines mostly, coffee machines. Rarely I look forward to getting out 5 ads. Nice. Man, I wish I got 5 ads. I don't even get ads because I'm a chump. Wait, am I? It was always nice getting out of the office and doing something productive. I need 2 whole cloves. Oh, I'm sure I have cloves. I have a jar of cloves right here. Dos el clovo. Somebody Google that for me. 1 cinnamon stick. Now, I was saving this for a rainy day. I guess this is a rainy day. I use this for the lucumades syrup. So it's already been Greekified. Please don't comment on the sticky glaze on the cinnamon stick. Pervs. I need the peel from 1 random bergamot. Any citrus will do. I am actually going to use a large navel orange. Navel because it has a large belly button, not because it comes from the Navy. I don't even know why they're called navel oranges. Can somebody look that up for me? Because it has an innie belly button. Is that why? Yes. I mean, that was the joke, but is that the... That's not a navel orange. Well, it came from the navel orange pile. That's a lie. Well, I guess Big Citrus lied to me. Big Citrus. I need a bowl. I'm going to wash this, and then I'm going to use my microplaner and grind, scrape, peel this. I mean, airborne orange is kind of terrifying too. Special Ops orange. Space Force orange. But wouldn't that be like something Tang related? I have a microplaner to zest the whatever type of orange this is. I'm looking for my microplaner. Aha! This needs a sheath because it's dangerously sharp. Tilt this down a little bit. And I'm going to turn my heat on to medium lowish for now. And I need 2 tablespoons of juice from this. So I'm going to drink the rest of the juice when I'm done. Now, there's a few ways to use your planer or zester. What I like to do, and this one's good because it's got feet on it. This is not a gadget. This is essential. This is the easiest way to use something like this. Box graters also have, as Nuvo was saying in the background, box graters also have a side for this kind of fine work. This side is better for grating hard cheeses. I would actually recommend you use the finer grater like this. This is way out of the question. So is this. This is more traditional for shredding the outside of your citrus. This also leaves a lot of residue on your box grater. Now, stop before you get to the white part. The pith of the white part is very bitter, doesn't add any flavor. The colored part has a bunch of essential oils and is a lot more loaded with flavor than the white stuff. The white stuff is just bitter. The colored stuff is awesome. And if your microplaner is relatively new, i.e. sharp, you don't need to press down particularly hard to make this work. And if it's hard, it should work. Or if it's hard, it's ready to anyways. So just a light scraping, and we're going to get all that beautiful peel off of here. Eric, I know, like a zester is required. And you can't really zest with like a paring knife. Now, what you could do in a pinch, you could peel this. Hang on, work with me. You could peel this and then squeeze the peel, because if you hold a flame up against a peel, like an orange or any citrus, and squeeze it, the essential oils will catch fire. So you'll see a little burst of flame. It's the essential oil from the peel that we're looking for. The fact that this has a nice color just adds to the whole syrup experience, because you're going to see these little bits, you're going to see more color. It just elevates the syrup. But as far as flavor goes, yeah, we're just looking for the essential oil from the citrus here. Oh my God, look at all of that. Oh, delicious. So I've got some really intense orange peel flavor there. Speaking of peels, one thing I do like to do when I juice fruits in my juicer, which I haven't done for ages, but one thing I like to do if I'm juicing oranges or lemons or grapefruit is throw in a little bit of the peel as well. Like in most juicers, you just throw the whole fruit in if you're juicing it. For things like lemons and oranges, citrus, you should peel it, because squeezing the pith, you don't want the essential oil flavor. You don't want the oil to overpower the natural flavor of the fruit itself, and it will. But I find a little bit is really nice. It's just something to keep in mind. That's a lot. This is a good, like, 2 tablespoons. Yeah, it smells wonderful. I'm going to zoom into my pot over here just so you can see what this. Maiden, welcome. I noticed a serious lack of being judged. And last but not least, we need some actual juice. I guess I'll use this one. Now, I do not own one of those butt plug looking juicer things, because you don't need it. In fact, I'm going to make the bold claim that I'm better off using a fork than one of those sex toy looking juicers. How bold is this claim? Let's find out. So I'm going to karate chop this one in half. Hadouken! Oh, this is super juicy. Wow. So from here, I can very gently squeeze. Notice I'm just using a couple of fingers here. It's usually all you need. Look how wet it is. So, what? I'm juicing an orange. What the hell did you think I'm talking about? My God. But all you need to do here is just gently rock the fork up and down and gently squeeze. And I can do this a little, I'm trying to get a better angle here, also what she said. I'm just squeezing the whole thing. I'm not pressing very hard, actually. I learned this from my mom. This is as juiced as it gets. Minnesota girl, long time no see. How you doing? Hope all is well. My cousin down there keeps asking when I'm going to go visit. One of these days. So when I do, I will definitely send a message. And Mary. Wow, the gang's all here. I need 2 tablespoons of this. Which is conveniently half of one of the oranges. I'm just running this. I'm using a lot of pronouns. I'm just running the juice through my strainer just to pick up some of the pulp. And I will be straining out the syrup once it's done. So this is going to be very citrusy, very sweet. And there's other variants. Instead of using a light brown sugar, you can use honey and water. Does anyone want this orange?
Sure.
Like now? Okay. No, I'll bring it over.
No.
Do you want me to segment it?
No, you can put it in the fridge for later.
There's another
You can
orange.
use it as garnish.
It's already been violated.
Oh, I thought it was the non-violated half.
Oh, I violated everything.
Oh.
You know me.
Well, then how can you segment it if you violate it?
You're so confused. Remind me, I'm just going to get this orange. For a member of the studio audience, if you want to be a member of the studio audience, all you need to do is send a self-addressed stamped envelope to this guy, care of here. Isn't that pretty? And I will hook you up. You kind of need to be in the greater metropolitan Winnipeg region of central North US, Canada.
What thanks? This one isn't violated.
It's totally violated. I had my way with it. It's been deflowered. To be a member of the studio audience, hang out in the green screen, in the green room, casting couch, or wherever you want, or cook with or without me here in the kitchen. Again, self-addressed stamped envelope must be stomped. So I want to bring this syrup to a boil and then let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Mary, what movie are you watching? Mary, movie, watching. Against all odds. Is that like Casino Royale or something? Is that a... That Phil Donahue guy sang the soundtrack, right? Whatever. Okay. I'm going to bring this syrup to a boil, down to medium. Let it simmer for a good 5 minutes, remove from heat, and let the whole thing cool right the heck down. And then I'll strain it before as I pour it onto the cake. In the meantime, I have my eggs becoming room temperature-ified. They actually were cold. I put them in warm water. After, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, they feel like they're room temperature. Mind blown. If you put something in warm water, it tends to get close to warm water temperature.
This is a very juicy orange.
It is a very juicy orange. Phil Collins. Wasn't he the sax player for Genesis? I know my 80s bands. Okay. Do I hate Phil Studio Collins that much? Yes, I do. I do. Him as a felt Muppet was the only good thing that he contributed to the universe. Harsh? Yeah, maybe. But in the hierarchy of drummers, Neil Peart versus Phil Collins. Neil Peart and Dave Grohl. Oh, he does, actually. He does. He's fine in person, but his music never did it for me. Did I tell you my Phil Collins story? I don't think I have. I normally don't talk about it. I think Gronch is just being silly. I've never brought up my no. Nah, I'm kind of sworn to secrecy on that one. Forget I said anything. Well, we are on a Canadian stream, so it's easy Canadian content. Okay, I'm just going to move this over here. Preheating the oven to approximately 180 Celsius, also known as 350. I mean, technically it's 356 Fahrenheit, so it's like a 350 board 30 over, round up. If you're a gearhead, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I need a 30 centimeter pan, which is approximately 12 inch. And no, I don't have a good way. Oh, wait, I do have a good way to measure that. Just gotta make a phone call. Get my buddy over here. I'm waiting for the judgment. Go ahead. I deserve it. Where's my springform pan?
Underneath the old
It was underneath the old stuff. Okay. I'm actually not going to use a 12-inch pan. I'm going to make two separate pitas because I want to send one over to my sister. I'll show you what this is going to look like right now. Yeah, that molasses is really dark in here. So this is at a boil, so I'm going to turn this down to a simmer, 5 minutes. And again, we used a cup and a half of water to 2 cups of sugar, so this is more than just a simple syrup. I don't have to reduce it a whole lot. And I want the syrup to be runny enough so it can penetrate the cake and bring some flavor through it, make it sweeter. So the cake itself won't be particularly sweet. Just so you know what's going on and what to expect. So we give my springform pans a rinse here. Is it math time? Okay, so a 12-inch pan has a surface area of what again? Pi r squared. So 12-inch diameter, 6 squared is 36. The pi is going to cancel out on both sides. So we need 36 square units over on this side, right? Nerd. So 36 divided by 2, because I'm splitting in half. 36 by 2 is around 18. And the square root of 18 is something like 4.2. Somebody fact check me on that. So I need a radius of 4.2 inches. I still can't measure that. So if this is 8 inches across or close to it, it will be the right size. So these two together have the same area, surface area, as a 12-inch springform pan, give or take. Now, do you ever need to know how to do that in your head? Not really, but it's a good way to flex to your kids or nephews and nieces that you've got a big brain and you can do real life math. Like you could go work at SpaceX, or you could do more important stuff like cook in the kitchen using all the math. So I need to separate the egg yolks and the whites into 2 large bowls. I need to find some large bowls. That bowl will be for the yolks. This bowl will be for the whites. Sounds like we've got a race war brewing here. I don't think I have follow age turned on. No. I'll see if I can do that. Yeah, it's turned off for everyone. Yikes. You can just click on the profile and you'll see there, which I'm sure is what Supermod Maiden did. And if you're not following Maiden, please do so. Maiden, give yourself a shout out.
I got it.
Okay, what I like to do, I'm going to crack my egg over this bowl. I'm going to separate the yolk is going to go into this bowl over here. The white is going to go into this bowl, which I will transfer into this bowl after I give it a good drying. Because I'm going to be whipping up the white into something like a meringue, and I don't want any liquid in here. I don't want any additional water. I don't need to stabilize the whipped up egg whites with an acid, especially cream of tartar. If you really want to, feel free to throw in a quarter teaspoon. It's kind of not necessary. When you go to separate your eggs, it's easiest if you do it when they're chilled, when they're straight from the refrigerator, and not when they're at room temperature like they are now. If I was planning ahead, I would have, it's my 5-minute timer. I'm just going to turn off the stovetop, give this another stir, and just let it hang out. And come down to something closer to room temperature. I should turn on my oven again to 350, technically 355. 350 is good enough. I could have separated these while the eggs were cold. They separate much more easily when they're cold. And then let them come up to room temperature, but I did not prep in advance, and I needed to warm up the eggs. So I'm going to give this a quick crack. So I'm going to separate this vertically. So I'm just going to take the top half off. Let the white Gwyneth Paltrow, goop on down. I'm just going to transfer the yolk back and forth a few times. If the yolk breaks, put all of this into another container and save that for something else. But just transferring the egg back and forth a few times is all you need to do. I've got my egg yolk in the cup over here. Got my white over here. So this way I'm not risking contaminating. Like, you'll see some people that usually know what they're doing, separating eggs over their bowl to catch the egg whites. These eggs are not the best quality, and the yolks will break fairly easily. And the last thing I want to do is, in the middle of separating a dozen egg whites, is be on my 12th egg, break it, the yolk rips, I get egg yolk in my egg whites, and then I have to start all over from planting chickens and harvesting them 4 months later. You plant chickens, right? You have a plant-based diet? If you happen to get an eggshell in here, oh no. Well, I guess I have to do the eggshell trick. Huh. That was totally unintentional. We're going to do this a few more times, so don't mind me. So again, I'm just transferring the egg yolk back and forth a couple of times. I will demonstrate the eggshell trick properly on the final egg. I need a paper towel. Probable weight. Thank you so much for the raid. How's the stream? You're not doing Phantasmophobia? Elden Ring. You know, I'm terrified to even look at gameplay for games like that because I know I'll want to play it. And I know the second I install it, I'm going to lose 100 to 200 hours. So I'm a total completist when it comes to all the RPGs, especially JRPGs. Because nothing defeats beating cosmic powered entities with the power of friendship. Yeah, these eggshells are super duper flimsy. So I'm just going to transfer the yolk back and forth a few times. There's a little goopy bit that I want to get rid of. Just because it's not pretty. There we go. One thing that's really cool is how easily the eggshells, the broken eggshell, cuts through egg whites, because that's how you can just get your half eggshell cup into your broken egg where there's some shells, get your cup underneath and just lift straight up, and that's the best way to get rid of problematic eggshell pieces. I will demonstrate that properly in just a minute. So just transfer back and forth a couple of times. And again, for all the new people, I am breaking my eggs over one container just in case this thing, the yolk breaks. So I don't make a mess of all of my separated whites. And just in case I'm using farm fresh eggs, sometimes the innards of an egg aren't clearish and yellow. Sometimes there's other colors that we don't want. Not to get too gross. Just back and forth a couple of times. Yolk goes there, white goes there. So I need a container for that. Whoopsie. These are garbage quality eggs from Costco. That happens. I'm not throwing it out. But that's exactly why I break it over the separate container. Oh, I have an eggshell in there. Okay, good. I will demonstrate now how to separate these things. So again, I'm just transferring the yolk back and forth a few times. That will get rid of the vast majority of the egg white. And now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes. Down here is a piece of eggshell. This little piece of eggshell, there's no way to get it out. So what I'm going to do is take my half eggshell cup, which is nature's very own patent pending gadget for removing eggshells. So wait a minute. Damn it. I'm going to cut right through the egg white because the geometry of the cracked eggshell does this wonderfully. Now, you should be able to just tilt your eggshell cup picker scooper upper tool and lift straight up and get your eggshell piece. If that doesn't work, see there's floating. I did pick it up. If that doesn't work, the other way is to just nudge your eggshell piece up the side of your bowl. It actually works better if they're bigger pieces. I don't know if you can see it in the cup here. I'll fish it out so you can see. Anywho, this is I normally don't endorse the kitchen hacks. This one I do. There's a few that actually work. And every chance I get to demonstrate them, I do because they are actually good. Now, somebody might be asking, hey, Vlahos, why don't you just separate it with your hand? And I'm like, what, like this? I don't know. Because most people don't like doing that. And you either have to crack your eggs into a separate bowl or you have to be able to crack it one-handed. But it does work. Personally, I find it's easiest if you just break it and let you the egg white slide through your fingers. If you have a texture, goopy, slimy problem, again, hashtag Gwyneth Paltrow, you might not want to do that. What do you mean I'm making a mess? You're a mess. Ouch, that was kind of harsh. Okay, so we have our separated eggs. Don't mind me, we're almost done. Oh, this pan itself is not an actual springform pan, it's solid. But what it is one of these fancy ones. So fancy, right? Is it a gadget? Shut up. I mean, kind of. You should have a springform pan, in my humble opinion. I don't really think they're super gadgety. If you're going to make cheesecakes regularly, or if you're going to make any sort of a delicate cakes, like you can just get away with a greased pan, floured or cocoaed or something. Personally, I love me some springform, especially for cheesecake. Okay, so the egg whites, I'm going to add a pinch of salt to this. And optional, dash of cream of tartar. Tartaric acid helps stabilize the egg whites, makes up for a stiffer meringue. I do not feel like doing this by hand today. Also what she said. Is an egg beater a specific gadget? Oh, for all of you non-Canadians, don't freak out too much. Try not to freak out when you see this.
Oh my God.
Mind blown. I'm going to do this till I get stiff peaks. I'll show you what stiff peaks are. Normally when you do, I should have said this before, normally when you start beating egg whites, start slowly until the whites that have a membrane, like you know how some egg whites are really gelatinous, they stick together because there's an actual like balloon of goop in there. But once you start breaking that apart, it starts flowing a lot more like water. Once that happens, you can start increasing the speed. Once it starts to froth up like this, you can just go on full speed. If you're using a copper bowl or cream of tartar or a couple of drops of vinegar or lemon juice also work. You can go straight to top speed. So soft peaks are when you lift this up, the peaks come up, and then they flop over right away. Like they need some more Viagra. It's the best I could come up with. Deal with it. If it stays fully erect, like a good healthy egg white, that's a stiff peak. Makes everyone happy. Somebody write down Viagra. That's hilarious. This could use just a little more, but you can see that they're not really flopping over right away. This is close to stiff peak. Very close. You also don't want to overmix your egg whites. At some point, you will break them and they will fall over. Okay, that's good. Set that aside. I don't mind if I contaminate these. I'm going to beat the egg yolks for 1 minute. Okay. Now this calls for some breadcrumbs. I'm going to skip that and just use almond flour. So this is actually going to be, well, it's not going to be keto, but it is going to be gluten-free. I do need to get some brandy.
Still have brandy? Oh, you're using the toxin?
Wow, I barely have enough left.
Alky.
Yeah, this is all I have left. The price on this went up a lot. So I actually didn't buy a bottle or two over Christmas to restock. I think I bought this bottle 2 years ago. Was this last year?
Yeah, you got 2 bottles.
Right, I got 2 bottles, one for my uncle, one for me. And this one was mostly used in flambés. Mostly. Because you know me, I'm the world's biggest alcoholic.
And that little snort was so dead.
I wish. I'll do a tour of the booze collection in my bedroom. Just gonna add my spices. I have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground clove, where is my clove? What I want is a spice rack, and one of these days someone will donate a spice rack, and then I will not be screwing around with, not knowing where my spices are. Oh, good Lord, I'm dangerously low on cloves. That's why. I thought I had a whole jar, but no, ground clove. Yeah. In order: cinnamon, clove, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Nutmeg goes a heck of a long way. Personally, I don't know that you need to have a fresh nutmeg and grate it every time that you want the nutmeg. Like you see in all the food porn videos, yes, it is fresher. Yes, it's more aromatic. Yes, the flavor is a lot more intense. Do you really want to worry about holding on to your nuts, keeping your nuts in storage, busting out something like this without hurting yourself?
Busting the nut out.
Did I say busting a nut out? Huh.
Oh, I said that.
I need 70 grams of light brown sugar. So 70 grams is like a third of a cup. I should write that down. And by like, I mean exactly a third of a cup. And the recipe, of course, says use light brown sugar. I'm going to skip that. I'm just going to use regular white sugar. I'm going to double check the recipe here. The zest I'm going to deal with in just a minute. Cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, brandy goes in right now. $40 mils is like an ounce. No shot glasses? What? Oh, there they are. These are 1.5 ounces, though. I don't know how I can do this.
Pour it all in there.
It's 1 ounce for you, and who wants the rest of this?
You do.
Opa, glug. I'm going to pretend that I took a shot of that. Again, raging alcoholic. I could add some almond extract. Technically, I'd be using bitter almond extract. I believe I do have some almond extract up here. I could use some amaretto extract, but you know what? I'm just going to keep this fairly au naturel.
You can actually use some amaretto.
I could use some actual amaretto. And I do have amaretto extract. I have the fake stuff, and I have real amaretto somewhere in the fridge. Do we want to make this extra boozy? Sure.
Sure. We're all adults.
We're all of legal
Allegedly.
age. Is it hiding in the back?
Yes.
No, damn it.
I'm sorry.
Holy smokes. Bottle of amaretto. I need to get me some more grip on this. Holy smokes, this is on. Oh, that's just sliding right off. All the booze, right? I think I need to loosen up the lid on this. Because of the dried sugar, yeah, I don't want to crank this off because I've had a bottle break on me before. Me reeking on it too hard, and I never want to do that again. Ever, ever, ever. Okay. Very precisely measured shot of amaretto. I'm going to leave this out so we can clean the lid later. Clean it properly. Now here's where it gets interesting. I need to get me... I want to scoop out some of the zest. That's room temperature now. Well, this cinnamon stick has had its time. Woo! It feels very boozy. Even though there's no booze in here. Wild. Now, I do want a couple of tablespoons of the zest. And this stuff is basically candied now. So leave this syrup right here for later use. Oh yeah, so here's the strained syrup. Super dark. And this smells glorious. Like this thing is just bursting with flavor. But I need to bust out my Snoop Dogg, should have been Snoop Dogg branded scale. My container of ultra fine almond flour. Don't mind me. So normally the recipe would call for 2/3 of a cup of almond and half a cup of fine breadcrumbs. I'm just using a full cup of almond. Flour, very fine grind. All of these substitutions will be listed beside the base recipe on the blog sometime later tonight. And speaking of which, feel free to join the Discord. Ignore the other links. Discord is where all the cool stuff happens, and also feel free to watch all of my videos, all of them. Here's a serious question. Do I just hit publish on the 400 something videos that I have and see if anyone wants to watch 3 hours of raw unedited footage? Actually, I think I have to chop out a bunch of stuff because of music copyright and extra naughty behavior. Maybe I'll put that on my OnlyFans. Some people think I'm kidding. I'm going to add my almond flour to this mix. Again, we're just on low speed. I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Oh no, I'm dangerously out of baking powder. Whatever will I do? Thanks. Spook. I mean, I could. One teaspoon of the old floof powder. One of these days, for real, I will get off my ass and post some stuff onto my OnlyFans. I might just do that with my all those YouTube videos. I might just transfer them over to OnlyFans. So I have my almonds, eggs, the zest, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, brandy, sugar, almond flavor, baking powder. I need a pinch of salt, and we are ready to put these in the oven. Pinch of salt. Approximately exactly a 1/16 of a teaspoon. So here's where I use the wrong bowls. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this a little half-assed backwards. What I should have done was have the meringue in a different bowl, a smaller bowl, because I'm going to be folding them into here. By folding, I mean literally folding, and I will demonstrate what folding looks like right away. The separated egg whites will give structure to this. The baking powder will give it some floofiness. Not a whole lot. Oh, that's good. Okay. So from here, I want to, a little bit at a time, literally fold this in. So I just scoop from the bottom and fold over. I don't want to stir this in. I don't want to break apart. Not too quickly anyways, the egg white. So I'm just going to gently fold this over. I'm going to scrape from the bottom and just flop it on over. Scraping from the bottom is what you guys do when you tune in. That's kind of harsh, but fair. I guess I did say it. That's true. One thing that's really neat is just how freaking versatile eggs are. Freaking. I don't know if you've ever seen cloud bread, which is basically this but baked, or one of those fancy deconstructed eggs where you take this and then drop your egg yolk into it and then bake that. Why would you do that? Because it looks really, really, really pretty. So I'm just going to do this in 3 or 4 sections. I'm just going to drop my meringue into my batter and just fold it over until it's incorporated. After I throw in the third quarter, I'll transfer this bowl into the last bit, fold that in, and then all this goes in the oven. And I believe that'll be it. I'll post pictures of the finished product later. Again, you don't want to stir this. You don't want to break up the meringue like that beaten, stiff-peaked egg white. You also don't want clumps hanging out. So you need to walk that fine line between incorporating it and deflating the egg white. Okay, one more. So for my final trick, I'm going to transfer this into the larger bowl, although I think it all would fit in here. split this whole batter into the 2 springform pans, which I still need to grease. Again, I'm scraping the bottom and then just folding it over. If you want a little shortcut, you can poke into these big clumps of egg white. But if you just gently stir and fold, this will all take care of itself. So this is the flourless version. This is the celiac friendly version. There is no gluten in here. There's no flour in here. Okay, I'm going to transfer all of this to my big bowl. Fold this over a few more times and then into my springform pans that I'm going to grease up. They go into the oven. And then we're going to go play some games. I will take pictures of the final product. I might even record taking it out of the oven. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll do that. I'll do some TV magic editing and show what this looks like when I take it out of the oven. Let it sit for just a couple of minutes, then I'll pour the syrup on top, and away we go. Hamilton Gaga, the ads I have no choice over, unfortunately. I think if I tune down the ads, I get like basically zero revenue. And as long as the ads are sort of helping pay for the groceries for the cooking, I'm happy. Because this is something that I would make maybe once a year, maybe for myself, maybe. And for myself, I mean for my family, like the Greek side. I'll let you figure that out. Okay. My foil sections of butter wrapper, they all dried up. So I have to start my collection again. I didn't need them for the longest time, and they all dried out.
How does butter dry out?
Well, there's still liquid in the fat. About a 20, it's a great question. How does butter dry out? Between 20 and 25% of your butter is water. That's why when you clarify butter to make ghee, you lose a quarter to a fifth of a cup per cup that you start with. These black things on the piece of butter are from the wrapper. I just need to make sure that they didn't actually stick to this springform pan. Huh. Like, what the heck am I looking at over here? Oh, no, it's not. It's the coating in the springform pan scraping off.
Are you serious?
I thought it was from the I thought it was black stuff from the wrapper. No, this black stuff is actually from this with the actual F. Okay, Zenker, made in Germany, officially going on blast.
That's baloney. I'm very
Mental note, don't trust the Germans to do anything.
very gentle with
F,
parchment paper.
F that pan, no kidding. No, I'm throwing it out. It's garbage.
You need it.
I do need it, but here we are. Whatever will I do when I have enough batter to fill this twice? Wait,
You do have a full-size
I can
spray pour.
put. Do I?
Yeah, it's got a glass one.
Where's that
I
one hiding?
don't know. The bedroom?
Yeah, apparently I have a springform pan that's hiding, but whatever. Ain't no one got time for that. Okay, so about half of this batter is going to go into here. We're at 350 and it's going to get baked for approximately, if this was full sized, it would be 40 minutes. This is going to be closer to 28. I'll set my timer for 30 minutes though. When a toothpick comes out clean, you know it's ready, just like every other cake. What I can do with the rest is just get a Corningware casserole dish and I'll bake that right now. Clang, clang, clang. It's a calamity. Okay, that wasn't funny. Okay, and even though this is also fairly non-stick, I'm still going to grease this because it's going to help everything come out much more easily. Healthy amount of butter up the side. Maybe should have used the next bigger size, whatever. Because this is a lot deeper, it's going to be a lot thicker, I'm going to need to let this cook for the full 40 minutes. It's got such a huge Christmas vibe to it. I say Christmas vibe because these spices are basically top shelf eggnog spices. And with all the booze, it's like top shelf eggnog. And yes, Spook, it is a good thing I did all that math earlier. Hell yeah. Okay, that's all we got. We are timing 28 minutes and change left. Butter is going back in the refrigerator. Going to clean out this cap for the bottle of amaretto. And then it's game time. So let's get our thinking caps on. If I have 5 people that want to do a drawering game, I will begrudgingly fire up TKO or Drawful or something. You have 1 minute to comply. So said Ed 309. There he is.
Sweep it on the door with the limoncello.
Too late. See how dark that syrup is? That's ridiculous. But don't take my word for it. I'll be right back. I'm going to cover this with some cling wrap, and I'll be using it later tonight. Okay, while I'm packing up, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. Hope you learned something. Hope it was somewhat entertaining. Hope it's given you the confidence to try some of this Greek cuisine, making your own Greek stuff, trying Greek once in a while. Your opinions do matter extra. I got the best mods on the planet. Oh, and normally this cake is decorated with just a loosely ground up almonds. But what I'm going to do with one of these, I picked up some slivered almonds. And I was really thinking about making a ring of almonds, concentric rings.
Oh, God, really?
And it'll be glued in place with the syrup.
How long is that going to take?
It'll take 5 minutes tops.
Okay.
It's really not that hard to do. It's super easy to do. It's not that tedious. And it looks really impressive.
A lot less hero perfectionist.
Now, if you're a perfectionist, you will lose your mind because it will never work out perfectly. You just have to say good enough most of the time. Okay, hand washing one more time. Again, please join the Discord. If you have any requests or suggestions for recipes, flavor profiles of regional cuisine, ethnic cuisines, ingredients, as long as they're not too expensive or too obscure, I will cook basically anything. My local Safeway is still out of unicorn meat, so that's kind of off the menu these days. And I will do my darndest to simplify all of the recipes. So you need just the basic ingredients, no gadgets, no fancy techniques. Like this was really straightforward. I didn't do anything here that took any particular skill. This was the only thing remotely gadget-like. And you should have a zester of some sort. Even if you have one of those little, like, they come in paring knife sets with the little rings on it, the little, like the mini brass knuckle thing.
I think you could also use a mesh strainer.
You'll ruin the mesh strainer if you try to scrape with that.
Okay.
Like you can use a vegetable peeler and gently scrape off little shavings. That does work. But just get yourself a zester or a microplaner. Okay, let's go play some games. Hamilton Gaga beat you to the hydrate, but thank you. Once again, simple ingredients, no gadgets, no fancy techniques. Papa. Part the second. Okay, here's a super cute little one, and the big one should be done right about now. Yeah. So this had floofed up a bunch more, and as expected, it settled down a fair bit. I'm going to do the old toothpick test. Right in the middle, comes out clean. This is done. My timing estimates were suspiciously kind of perfect. This one I'm going to let cool down for a little bit. So over here. Yeah, this all smells absolutely fantastic. It smells really, really, really good. So this has been out for 15 minutes. I'm just going to get a plastic knife. I usually have a plastic knife just for this occasion, just to help separate from the springform pan. With any luck, because these pans are really cool. Nouveau, you probably have not ever had this. So I'm going to just precariously balance this on a plate. And normally this is a lot thicker. Oink, giggity. But what I am going to do is just drench this in the syrup. It's all centered. Okay, good. That's going to take forever. Let's just do this the fun way.
Fork it to let it.
Do I fork it to let the syrup in?
Yeah.
You really probably don't need to.
Okay.
But it's a good idea.
I just thought the crust would be a little crust-like.
No, this is gonna soak in pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
So that's this one. I'm going to just slide that over just a little bit. Yeah, and this is separating nicely from the side of the Corningware. You can see how quickly the syrup is getting absorbed. Like if you look along the side, you will see the syrup puddling up and then disappearing. So this is going to get drenched, and I'm going to put another cup on this one. So this is super hot, and you can see the pooling is gone. So all of that liquid is soaked in. So forking it isn't really necessary. It was an awesome question. Thank you. And now, I mean, this step is totally unnecessary. Um, I said I was going to, oh, I was thinking about it anyways. No, I'm just going to throw these on top.
Okay. There you go, Judy. All random and that's pretty.
Yeah, I'm nutting all over. That's right. Like traditionally, it's just sprinkled ground up almonds. But I figured the slivered would be a lot prettier. Okay. I'm going to cut this one up and serve some, and then we will rate it. And silly me did not take any pictures at the right time. Oh well. So you can see the almond meal kind of consistency on the side or from the side. Okay. I'll take one quick picture of this. You know, I bought some carousels. Speaking of Logan's Run, I bought some carousels just to take better pictures of things. So of course I don't use it. Either one.
Yummy.
And this comes out pretty clean. Apparently it's delicious. Totally drenched with syrup, and that syrup is off the hook. Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. And you can see just how wet this is.
Doesn't actually taste boozy.
Yeah, it could have some more booze in it, but the flavor is awesome.
I'm not complaining.
Mm.
Yum.
Most recipes involve breadcrumbs, but a lot of descriptions will call it flourless. Technically, they're full of shit. because there is flour in the breadcrumbs. I'm not reaching into my bag of flour and taking out a cup, but this is good for people that are gluten intolerant or have celiacs, and this is absolutely delicious. That syrup's amazing, though. It's really, really good. Okay. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I will post pictures of the bigger cake once it cools down a bit. But the inside will look a heck of a lot like that, just a few inches bigger. Sorry, it's what I was born with. If you're a fan of almonds, this is a great recipe. And other than folding in the stiff egg whites, this is super. I'm not getting judged on that. I don't accept it. Other than the whipping up of the egg whites, which is, it's straightforward. Once you've done it once or twice, it's easy. Triple judge. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of senior citizens in the chat. It's crazy. Okay, we're gonna go right out. Once again, thank you everyone. This is delicious. If you want to come down and pig out on stuff like this, just Winnipeg, self-addressed stamped envelope. That's it. Do it. Marry you too. It's not that far of a drive. It's only 24 hours. Okay, stick around for the raid. Opa.